If you can maintain a firm hold of your operations from anywhere, complete with the choice to find the perfect balance between work and freedom. As a leader, the significance of your role is unparalleled. That's why we make sure no matter where you are, your financial freedom is guaranteed. People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
In a few moments, the news.
People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The United States exhorts Sri Lanka to act in the right way to establish long-term economic stability. The grace period to deposit or sell foreign currency in possession is extended by the Sri Lanka Central Bank. Dhammika Perera, the Minister of Investment Promotion, resigned from his position today. A gas shipment of 3,700 MTs arrived in Sri Lanka. The CID is investigating the Prime Minister's private residence fire. Lanka IOC resumes fuel delivery to filling stations. Japanese mourners gather to pay their final respects to Abe. The United States has urged Sri Lankan authorities to work quickly to implement solutions to achieve long-term economic stability and address the people's discontent regarding the worsening economic conditions. A spokesperson for the U.S. State Department said Washington is closely following the developments in Sri Lanka. The United States condemns any violence against peaceful protesters and journalists, the spokesperson further said, adding that Sri Lankan people have the right to peacefully raise their voices, and we call for the full investigation, arrest and prosecution of anyone involved in any protest-related violent incidents. Furthermore, the United States called on the Sri Lankan Parliament to approach this juncture with a commitment to the betterment of the nation, not any one political party. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has announced that the grace period granted for residents of Sri Lanka to deposit or sell foreign currency in possession to an authorized dealer has been extended. The Minister of Finance has issued an order under Section 8 of the Foreign Exchange Act No. 12 of 2017, extending the amnesty period granted for persons in or resident in Sri Lanka to deposit or sell the foreign currency in possession to an authorized dealer as specified in the order by another 14 working days up to the 26th of July 2022. The order issued under Section 8 of the Foreign Exchange Act No. 12 of 2017 will reduce the amount of foreign currency retained in possession by a person in or resident in Sri Lanka from $15,000 to $10,000 or its equivalent in other foreign currencies. Investment Promotion Minister Dhammika Perera has resigned from his ministerial portfolio today. Dhammika Perera was appointed as the Minister of Investment Promotion on the 24th of June. Meanwhile, the Minister of Tourism and Lands, Harin Fernando, and the Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment, Manusha Nayakkara, said yesterday that they have decided to step down from their ministerial portfolios with immediate effect. In a joint letter, the ministers said they will step down from the positions of the Ministry of Tourism and Lands and the Ministry of Labour and Foreign Employment in order to form an all-party government and provide immediate relief to the people. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
A ship carrying 3,700 MTs of LP gas arrived this afternoon. Presidential Secretarial said distribution processes will start immediately. Issuing a statement, it said that a second shipment of 3,740 MTs of LP gas is scheduled to arrive in the country tomorrow. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed officials to expedite unloading and distribution of gas after the first ship reaches Karavalapitiya today, the statement added. The third ship with 3,200 MTs of gas will arrive in Sri Lanka on the 25th of July, and the amount of gas ordered for this month is 33,000 MTs. The investigation into the incident of setting fire to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's private residence in Colombo last night has been handed over to the CID. Police said the Kollupitiya police were investigating the incident, and the probe will now be taken over by the CID. The Lanka Indian Oil Company LIOC said it has resumed its fuel distribution from today. The company said the Trincomalee terminal is operational 24 hours a day. LIOC has suspended fuel distribution to filling stations during the last couple of days.
Imagine if you could maintain a firm hold of your operations from anywhere. People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatma.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has announced that the grace period granted for residents of Sri Lanka to deposit or sell the foreign currency in possession to an authorised dealer has been extended. The Minister of Finance has issued an order under Section 8 of the Foreign Exchange Act No. 12 of 2017, extending the amnesty period granted for persons in or resident in Sri Lanka to deposit or sell the foreign currency in possession to an authorised dealer as specified in the order by another 14 working days up to the 26th of July 2022. The order issued under Section 8 of the Foreign Exchange Act No. 12 of 2017 will reduce the amount of foreign currency retained in possession by a person in or resident in Sri Lanka from $15,000 to $10,000 or its equivalent in other foreign currencies.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatma.
And now in Watchlight, medical professionals say there is a rise in the number of children contracting fever, colds, coughs and pneumonia these days. Dr. Deepal Pereira, consultant paediatrician at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital for Children, said that there is also a rise in the number of children with breathing difficulties. He said this means a minor cold could rapidly spread among children. Doctors urge parents to avoid sending children to other places and ask them to stay at home if they show symptoms such as a fever, cold and a cough, as they could be infected with influenza, other viral fevers and even COVID-19. That came to you in Watchlight. In World News Headlines, Japanese mourners gather to pay final respects to Abe. Blinken to make unscheduled visit to Japan. 15 people have been shot dead in a bar in the South African township of Soweto. A huge crowd of mourners have gathered at the spot where former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was gunned down on Friday. More than 1,000 people waited in line on Sunday afternoon to lay flowers and offer prayers at the site of the attack in front of a train station in Nara, western Japan. One man from Okayama Prefecture, also in western Japan, brought his 2 young daughters to the site. Quote, "I never imagined anything like this would happen," unquote, he said. Quote, "I'm hoping that by coming here, my daughters will take an interest in politics and democracy," unquote. The US State Department says Secretary Antony Blinken will travel to Tokyo to offer his condolences on the death of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The State Department announced the plan in a statement on Saturday. Blinken is currently visiting Thailand. He is expected to make a stop in Japan before returning to the United States. His trip to Tokyo was previously unscheduled. The statement says Blinken will meet with senior Japanese officials during his stay. Sources say he is expected to arrive in Japan on Monday. At least 15 people have been shot dead in a bar in the South African township of Soweto, police say. Police said gunmen entered the Orlando East Tavern in the early hours of Sunday morning and started firing randomly at a group of young people. They then fled the scene in white minibuses. No motives for the attack have been established, the police said. Several more people are in a critical condition in hospital, the BBC's Nama Masako reports. The victims are believed to be between 19 and 35 years of age. And now for the headlines of the World News segment once again. Japanese mourners gather to pay final respects to Abe. Blinken to make unscheduled visit to Japan. 15 people have been shot dead in a bar in the South African township of Soweto. That was World News.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
FlexiPrint Private Limited wins gold for printing and related services at the National Business Excellence Awards 2021 organised by the National Chamber of Commerce of Sri Lanka. The award ceremony was recently held in Colombo, during which FlexiPrint Managing Director Satisabe Wickrama received the award. FlexiPrint is a highly reputed packaging material supplier which began its dynamic journey in 1994.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
And now for sports news. Ireland rugby team has beaten New Zealand All Blacks in the rugby test match held in Dunedin. This remarks the first win for Ireland rugby against All Blacks on New Zealand soil. The full-time score was as follows: Ireland 23, New Zealand. This was the second match of the series, and Johnny Sexton, the captain of the Irish team, praised head coach Andy Farrell and the staff. Last week, All Blacks beat Ireland 42-19, and therefore the decider will happen on the 16th of July at Sky Stadium in Wellington. Sexton also stated that everything is on the line for the upcoming third test against All Blacks. Commentary suggests that despite Ireland's excellent performance, All Blacks made some serious mistakes that were fatal during the course of action. Meanwhile, the England Rugby Union team emerged as winners against the Australian Wallabies in their second meeting with a full-time score of 25-17. England Rugby team suffered a hard-fought loss against Australia last weekend, and now the series is levelled and deciding test will happen in the upcoming weekend. Wales Rugby team also emerged as winners against current world champion South African Springboks. Similar to England Rugby team, Wales also had a hard-fought loss against Springboks last weekend and avenged it successfully this weekend with a full-time score of 13-12 to decide the series winner in the upcoming week.
Economic News, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
A delegation consisting of 17 students from the University of Lincoln, UK, arrived on a short visit to Sri Lanka in order to study the lifestyle of the people of Sri Lanka. They also visited the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau on their visit in order to gain more information for their studies on Sri Lanka as a tourism destination and get further insight for their queries regarding steps being taken in a post-pandemic environment to restart the tourism industry of Sri Lanka. The group arrived at a time when the UK government had issued several travel advisories against Sri Lanka.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And now for the weather report. A few showers may occur in the western and Sabarkama provinces and in the Nuwara Eliya, Kandigal and Mathura districts. Fairly strong winds of up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the western slopes of the central hills. It added the sea areas of the coast extending from Negombo to Kankasanture via Puttalama, Mana and Gaul to Pottivil via Mathura and Hambantota will be rough at times. The other sea areas around the island will be moderate. That was our weather report. And now for the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The United States exhorts Sri Lanka to act right away to establish long-term economic stability. The grace period to deposit or sell foreign currency in possession is extended by the Sri Lanka Central Bank. Dhammika Pereira, the Minister of Investment Promotion, resigned from his position today. A gas shipment of 3,700 MTs arrived in Sri Lanka. The CID is investigating the Prime Minister's private residence fire. The Lanka IOC resumes fuel delivery to filling stations. Japanese mourners gather to pay their final respects to Abe. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.